Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For saying this video, we're going to be discussing one of the worst, what was generally considered one of the worst movies that ever came out within the last 40 years. And this is not only one of the worst, but one of the most infamous movies that ever came out because it was so bad. It's almost as so bad as good movie. And that's the 1986 film produced by George Lucas, Howard the Duck, starring Lea Thompson, Bull Durham, Tim Robbins, and the guy who played the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I don't know the actor who played the name, or the name of the actor, I should say, but he was in this movie too. He plays the villain in this one. Big shock here, folks. Of course, who doesn't know? And of course, not only did George Lucas was executive producer on this thing, but his two friends who co-wrote Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, not only they co-wrote this movie, but Gloria Katz also directed and wrote it and all that stuff. I mean, they all should be embarrassed for themselves. I think Gloria Katz passed away recently, in the last year or so. So luckily she won't be able to make any more crappy movies like this one. But I mean, this movie was so bad, it was like entertaining because some of the humor was entertaining. But it was a dumb movie. In the movie, of course, stars Howard. I think Tim. Forgot the guy's last name. I'm blanking right now. Tim Russ, I think was. Oh no, Tim Rose, I think was. Anime was the voice of Howard the Duck, and I forgot who was the voice of Howard. By the way, I'm not too sure if it's Tim Rose, but Howard lives on a planet with all talking, living, walking ducks. It's like a duck world. And this one night he comes out and actually everything was duck. You see even a spoof poster of Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's like Raiders of the Lost Duck. And all these other crazy spoofs. Like Star Wars or Indiana Jones spoofs and Howard the Duck. Because, actually George Lucas involved in this thing. And there's one particular night he gets beamed. Like a radar beam zaps Howard into to Earth in Cleveland, Ohio, of all places, where he meets. That was my phone, so it's gonna be with that. I should put it on north sound on that thing. He gets sent to Earth to Cleveland, and when he's there, he meets Lea Thompson, who is a lead singer of an all-girls band. Not kidding. And she does do her own singing in this movie, but it's kind of impressive. It's the only time in any of the movies that like the 10,000 movies that Lea Thompson did back in the 80s, where she actually sang it, and she's not bad. I mean, she's not the greatest singer in the world, but I think she could carry a tune. Put it that way. And she was hot she was hot in every movie, but she was definitely hot in this one. I'll get to it in a minute. White was extra hot in this movie. And of course, they became friends. And Lea Thompson's character, her name's Beverly, she decides to help Howard out. And said she couldn't believe what she was seeing. They could actually talking and walking duck. And explains why he wants to know why he was there and all that stuff. And she's trying to help him figure this out. But she also point out, before I get ahead of myself, there was a particular scene where Howard was being transported to Earth, and he's going backwards in his chair through his apartment building, and you actually see a female duck in a bathtub, and you see duck boobies. I am not joking. He's in the tub, and you see two duck boobies. I am not exaggerating. You can't make this up. So, while she's trying to help him out, and she goes to see a friend of theirs who's a scientist who works in that local natural history museum, and it's played by Tim Robbins. He says, "Oh, I think I know how you did it because we had this beam, the sensor beam goes out, and I guess it could drag you in, and that's what happened. They were testing the sonar laser thing, and he zapped Howard and drew him in like a tractor beam. You know, for Star Trek fans out there, a tractor beam to Earth, and or transporter beam or something. And one of the lead scientists was played by the guy who was the principal in Ferris Bueller, and he also got hit by the laser beam as well, because he tried to do it a second time, trying to reverse the process or something, and he turned into like a dark overlord. You know, from another, like a zone. You kind of like, not the neutral zone, it's kind of like the Phantom Zone in Superman. This beam hit this Phantom Zone place. Well, they didn't call it the Phantom Zone, but something similar. And one of these creatures came into the body of the principal of Ferris Bueller. So he goes nuts. He's going crazy. He's transmitting his hair eventually goes up like this, and speaks with a crazy voice. "I'm going to catch you, Howard." And all that stuff. And they found out that Howard did come in because they found like a duck feather there, and they matched with Howard. And meanwhile, they had this real big crazy chase scene. With Howard trying to get back to Tim Robbins in his film flying thing. Like somebody's backyard, Howard made this airplane, and they flew because Howard lost in his plan. The ducks don't fly in his plan, and he doesn't swim either. So Tim Robbins says, "What duck doesn't know how to swim, for crying out loud, or fly?" And so they eventually get there, and they beat the overlords. Not only the one that exhibited the body of the principal from Ferris Bueller, but they got him out of his body. And so, "Oh, thanks for getting the thing out of me," but the thing is still here, because Howard uses like this big laser gun, shot the creature, knocks out the guy, but he got the creature out of the guy's body, but he was still there, and he used another beam to kill him. But the problem is the laser beam was drawing in three more similar creatures. So what Howard had to do was, if he destroys the laser beam thing, if he destroys the sonar thing, the creatures won't come to Earth. But there's a downside. And the downside is there'll be no way for Howard to get home, back to his duck world. So Howard, of course, made this sacrifice, destroys the gun, and now he's stuck on Earth for the rest of his life. And of course, during his adventures early in the film, he becomes the manager of Leah Thompson's band. He found out that her manager was stiffing her and her band. All the money, taking all the extra money from them, dipping in the funds for them. Instead of giving them the money, he took it, he took all of it. So at the end of the movie, you have the song "Howard the Duck" at the end of the movie, and you see Howard rocking at the end of the film, with a bass guitar or something, and it was really, it was really bad. It was entertaining. It was entertaining. I'm not saying it wasn't, but the movie was like so bad. It's like I said earlier, it was so bad it's a good movie. Of course, the part they didn't mention, they should mention, takes place about approximately 45 minutes into this film. This is the part of the movie where Leah Thompson was always drop dead gorgeous and so beautiful to look at. It's not even funny. But this particular scene made Leah Thompson into a sex symbol back in 1986. Even though she was in this crappy movie, this scene made her into a bona fide 100% U.S. certified sex symbol. And there's a scene where they have Howard in bed. It looks like Hugh Hefner, and Hugh Hefner is a duck. you know, in bed with Leah Thompson, and Leah Thompson's in his not even a negligee. I mean, she's in like a halter top, and you see her midriff and her legs, so she was wearing underwear. So instead of wearing one of those a bra, so she was wearing like a top, and you see her tummy a little bit. So you see a beautiful figure that Leah Thompson has, and her great legs she has. And you get any heterosexual guy who will see that scene with Leah Thompson dressed like that, you get, let me tell you, you get excited. Alright? You don't need Viagra. Alright? If you see Leah Thompson and Howard the Duck in that particular scene that I'm describing, you're not going to need Viagra. This movie or in the movie Casual Sex, because she shows off her body in Casual Sex in the movie Casual Sex as well. It came out like a couple years later, after Howard the Duck. Anyway, and it looks like they were about to have sex, and she was about to take her little halter top off. She was about to take that off, and Howard stops her. I said, Howard is an idiot. He's a stupid. If you're looking to stop her, you can see her boobies. I mean, it'd be exciting to see that, but nope, didn't get to see Leah Thompson's boobs. It was disappointing in that. But at least you saw her body. I mean, who would complain about not seeing her body? And that's when the other scientists come into Leah Thompson's apartment because she left the door open. So in the shadow, because you see a shadow like a backlit, where Leah Thompson was kissing Howard in a really seductive way, and I was like, hey, it looks like they're about to have sex, a human having sex with a duck, and. So, oh my God, go look at. And one of the scientists says, not just Tim Robbins' character, but Principal Ferris Bueller plus this third guy says and the third guy goes, this violates all the laws of science. And he goes, huh? And because Leah Thompson quickly covers herself up, and it was a shame. And to me, there was the highlight of the movie, seeing Leah Thompson dressed like that. And I mean, when they showed off her body in this movie. There was that. To me, there was the highlight of the movie. Other than the beginning part, when you see the topless female duck. I mean, there was like the two highlights. I mean, it got so silly, especially the big chase scenes at the end. I mean, that scene with Howard in the little hobby plane, I guess you would call it. That chase scene went way too long, just to pad out the story. I mean, this movie could have been like 15 minutes shorter if it didn't have that scene in there. But this movie, it was like horrible, got all kinds of pans, reviews, and all that stuff. But to me, it's still fun to watch that movie. And because Leah Thompson, even though the movie was so bad, Leah Thompson made that role believable. And I think if you look at the I know it's still up on YouTube. But when you look at the I Love the 80s shows, VH1 produced, and so I think it may still be on YouTube here, and you look at the clips with Howard the Duck for 1980s. I don't know if it's the original one or I Love the 80s Strikes Back or the I Love the 80s 3D version of it. When he's talking about Howard the Duck. And he talks about he's a very special duck, and they show that scene with them about to do it, and it would have been real fun, real cool to see that. I mean, it would have been the highlight to have Leah Thompson have sex with a duck. I mean, to me, it was a highlight of her career. Other than maybe being in the Back to the Future films or getting eaten by a shark in Jaws 3D. You know she doesn't die, but she gets attacked by a shark in Jaws 3D as well, which was her first movie. And other than seeing her in the sexy lingerie and the halter top, the only time that you really saw off her, when Leah Thompson was in a film and really showed off her body, was possibly in Jaws 3D, where she was like playing a water skier, and she was in a bikini. I mean, those are the only two. I mean, other than other movies when you saw off her legs, which is not bad, by the way. In terms of sort of a figure, that's all these scenes, except for maybe a locker room scene in some kind of Wonderful, which came out a year later. but the year after Howard the Duck. But Howard the Duck is still, even though it's still considered to be one of the worst movies, it's still, to me, one of the entertaining films. And it's like one of the crappy movies from the 80s, you know? And George Lucas had to sell his company Pixar because of the feedback he got from Howard the Duck. Because Howard the Duck was such an awful movie. And one more other personal note, I had in high school, I had an advisor named Mr. Howard, and everybody was, because when the movie came out, everybody was singing Howard the Duck, the song Howard the Duck to my high school advisor, and he didn't know why everybody was calling him Howard the Duck. So I had to explain to him, it's this crappy movie about a duck, and they had a song in the end called Howard the Duck, and he goes, "Oh, that's the reason." He said, "Yeah, that's calling you a duck." and he says, "Oh, okay." And he kind of like brushed up, because I had the one I was elected to tell him why, because he asked me, and so I had to go up and I was elected to tell him the reason. And he goes, "Oh, because of this movie." So that's why I have a little fond memory of Howard the Duck, even though I'm not, really panning it. I'm giving such a lousy review. It's because of the fact that I had that fond memory of it with my high school advisor with Howard the Duck, and seeing Lea Thompson like 98% naked in that scene, or at least 80, or should I say like about 75% naked in that scene with Howard making out, and that scene was so great. It was unbelievable. But even though it has a piece of nostalgia as a bad movie, like I said earlier, it's like one of those movies that's so bad it's good. So that's my review of the movie Howard the Duck. Please click on the video, please rate it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews and on my YouTube channel at RowdyC.com, so WDY, C.com. There's a homepage of Rowdy Reviewer, Chris Lee Moore, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.